of her brain, terrain of her mind, so that I, Marmaduke, I had held her from behind, and I stroked her clitoris, and she came. That way, the stream flowed again. The dam had been broken through the paralysed area of her mind. And this is how it occurred. I peered through the viewfinder. I could hear their voices. I could hear them in the background. I knew I was making progress. I was reaching into another dimension through the tube of the front of her forehead with the viewfinder. Scanner. And it operated back like a mirror, reflecting back to me as if I was looking into myself. And that is how I found the gold mirror, the cortex. That is how I found mental health for her. The pirate machine I invented and she helped me, released her. It wrote the diary down. It wrote it by itself. As I could hear the voices in the background, I could hear what ailed her, the different personalities speaking louder, louder in the kitchen. That is where it came from. Voice unknown. A blackout had occurred. Do you remember? When I had flown the plane. You remember? Don't you remember? I told you in the beginning. I told you. It was as if I looked into a shattered mirror, looking at different selves of myself, multiple personalities, split off, like Carl Jung described in his book. A terrible danger, a wound occurs, and each personality is off, like sections in a compass, and takes on life of itself. I was sure that's what happened to me. I thought I was in the RAF, in the Dam Busters, over the dam. Deborah disappeared, never heard of again. That's what I was. I thought I was Guy Gibson. Ha! Never heard of again. And disappeared. Up here in the North West End. Don't you recognise me, Keith? You don't? No wonder you confuse which dance you should do, which partner. You should belong to a union. Are you exhausted?
I'm exhausted.
You can't speak. What's the matter with you, son?
My energy's gone.
Well, this is a pretty poor, depleted situation. Cross, isn't it? Well, I've just come back from being away in mine. You remember the silver mines, don't you? You do. You're just a little boy. The map? Do you remember the map? That the mother left? The Mother Superior? I mean, I've watched you over these last few days from the other side of... And quite honestly, I'm quite concerned really, because all these different personas, sides, I'm beginning to see that they've manifested inside. And do you know I've worked something out? Each one is a role that's a manifestation of those portraits of your ancestors. That's
A culmination.
why it's a culmination. We're getting good, we're getting clever. It took your father to bring it out. Now, you were visited with something, weren't you? You were visited with... I can't lead you, obviously. I can't lead the witness. But you were visited with something, weren't you?
Yes.
What was it, witness? I'd like to... Don't evade.
I had a psychiatric tremble.
Your life, what sort of... How would you describe the manner in which your life was manifesting itself in this psychiatric tremble, as you call it.
Don't know how to explain.
Well, I can't lead the witness, obviously, can I, my lord? But
I wasn't in the right frame of mind.
a good answer, witness, a good answer. But not good enough. Do you notice anything different that's happened in the mirror since your father entered?
Yes.
Keith, the army officer? And now you see around you this courtroom and don't you recognise Richard Marvel?
No. No, I don't.
Well, that could be the case for the prosecution, my lord. Well, this issue is one of obvious mentality. Except, I'm this man's defence barrister.
You're not very good at defending me.
Well, I extend my hand to you and you insult me. I mean, let's be honest. You're not having to do much, are you? Where's the confidence?
It's gone.
I'll tell you what's happened to you, lad. What's happened to you is you've been overindulged by your mother, absolutely spoilt, and you've grown up to be half passive. The other half is excessively masculine, macho. It's a complete conflict and it's causing a DNA conundrum of events within you, and that's when you're split down the middle and seeing 5 different characters when you look at me in the mirror. 1, your father, 2, a QC, because your uncle in that portrait was a QC, your mother's in it, Emily, Suzanne, who else?
Why are you screaming at me? You're just like all this before. Mother's boy, mother's boy, mother's boy. That's all I keep hearing.
Don't taunt me, boy! Don't taunt me! You just know your place. This is England after all. Place.
Old Blighty then, yes.
If you've got an aspiration, you keep it hidden. It's not going to go anywhere in here, under this country, is it?
No.
You've lost the rhythm.
Yes.
But there in the mirror, I saw...
Reflection.
That's it, that night. Do you remember Sir Keith, the ring, Have Eagle and lived, the cadets, the underground passages, the mine, she?
Is this all supposed to be coming together?
Mary Cameron.
Mary Cameron.
Mary Cameron. Ring a bell?
Vaguely.
Sister? My lord, this inquiry is almost futile because this man has been destroyed beyond recognition. The man who should be in the witness box is me. There. You see, I'm prepared to make an admission, a confession, to save this boy, my son. For when I went down the mine, don't you recognise these, my shoes? These filthy shoes? Don't you remember when I left? Don't you know who I am?
No.
Don't you recognise me?
No.
From the shoes, the footprints that went into the mine, you were found, you had a blackout.
Well, how was I supposed to remember if I had a blackout?
This man should be a lawyer, my lord. He is my son, a wonderful rejoinder. At last I see some manifestation of aspiration. Perhaps...
You're the only one.
That was a song, wasn't it?
Yes.
Who sang it? If you can answer that, a quiz in this courtroom, perhaps your sanity is coming back and the suppression that's happened over the years by this thwarting policy of this government may be broken and shattered like that mirror in the beginning. And you may have... You want to say something, don't you?
I was going to say something, but it's gone now.
Don't let me suffocate your expression, son. I believe in Section 18. Under the Constitution, my lord, freedom of expression of the individual. Something that is thwarted in this country because of Section 21. Which maintains that vested interests should only have expression at the expense of everyone else who pays for the vested interest expressions. So express yourself.
But I'm not allowed.
Exactly. I rest my case, Lord. The government is in the dock. It is convicted. Not this boy, not this son, who was arrested, seeing the witch of
Cornwall.
And that was when the detectives charged you with not having the measurements, didn't they?
Yes, this is what I don't understand.
Well, let me enlighten you. Let me explain it a bit to you. The detectives arrested you. They had evidence of XY chromosomes. They took photographs with this box, which you're not allowed to see at the moment, because it's top secret. Because the government won't let us give evidence in respect of it, because they say it's high security. But exactly what happened was that they photographed your mind and they took the slide and looked at the X and Y, and they then charged you with not having the measurements, which are the elements of the offence of insanity. And that's why you're here today. And that's why I came back under the mine and put on my wig again as Richard Marble to defend you.
Against myself?
Ah, you told me you discovered it. You told me, don't you remember, before I absconded or went into the mine, you just told me yourself you discovered Atlantis.
How am I supposed to remember? How am I supposed to remember?
Because you had a blackout. And when you realise you had a blackout, it should shatter the mirror, the dark veil, the curtain across your mind, and reveal. You'll remember everything else. I was a psychiatrist as well, you know. Well, don't you remember that either?
No.
Well, back in the beginning of this dreadful episode in the asylum, do you not remember Gillian cut the throat of the psychiatrist? And he bled. And there was an operation.
All you talk of is horrors.
That's because I feed the television items that come on every night that sent all of us insane. Because I'm the producer, ultimately. And you don't think you're going to cut my puppets again, do you?
I'd like to leave you out, please.
Forgive yourself. Forgive yourself. The grate is open, I declare. You can get out of this place. This hell, this sirens, Mars attacking. Do you not remember? You heard my prayer from above, from behind. Our Lady, she said her prayer of Cathedral Square. Don't you remember? Mary Louise?
Mary Louise.
That's it. Come on, repeat after me.
Mary Louise.
That's it. Da-da-da-da-da.
Mary Louise.
That's it. Da-da-da-da-da.
Yes, it's coming back.
You remember you went down the staircase in the old oak tree.
Yes.
And you went to the cellar below. And there you saw the cadets. Me.
You?
Sir Keith. Of which you were one. Don't you remember? The tree. It's imprinted on yours.
I know it is. I know it's here, but I can't see. I want to see, but I can't see.
But that's why you can't. You can see. Can't is not in the dictionary with this court case. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. With the aid of the viewfinder, the images in the lab attached to the television screen operated upon a two-way mirror which I could look through. I could see up the tunnel of the mine, up the funnel, at the end of which was a small glass that reflected light. The cortex in his mind, in the operation that had caused him to be stuck. The pirate machine printed out. It printed out the letters.